Hello everyone. In this tutorial, I want to show you how to draw elevations and sections using these floor plans. As you remember, we were talking about the section and elevation, so how to draw this section and elevation in Rhino. But I want to make it really easy for you all to draw this elevation and section in here. So as you see, I created some symbol that we're using in drawing in elevation and section. And here you see these two are section symbols, and also we do have some of those that we're using in elevations, and so these are our all of them are blocked, so I can show you how you can block these symbols as well. So first, I'm gonna just indicate like where I want to have the section. So I'm gonna use these two, and I'm gonna drag this. I'm gonna have the section same like as we had in SketchUp in here, right? So actually, I'm gonna hide this, and then I'm going to add this section somewhere here, right? If you have this section here, I'm gonna have this other side right there. So the next is I'm going to start drawing. So using L, where we have this section cut, it's here, right? So if you want to, you can also draw one line that you see where you have this section or cut, right? So I'm gonna type L, and from here we have this window, and so I'm gonna just draw from here this point to here, and then also let's just show this and this side and this side, the other side of the floor plan with this line, or even you can copy this line and then bring it here. And I'm gonna have the finished floor and like a ground, and I'm going to start drawing these lines, section lines. So as you see here, we have this window, which is this cut. So I'm gonna just draw one line, or even you can offset this line. It's just whatever you feel comfortable with. Like for example, you know the thickness, right? So maybe we're just gonna say I'm gonna offset this in 6 inches, where we have this cut through, and then after this, you remember we have this elevation or this face in the interior, and then we'll see, because the arrow section is upright, so I have interior wall, so I'm gonna just draw or one line from here to here, and then you can also offset this. You can say, okay, offset thickness was 4, like here we go. And then we'll see the next is again the wall. So we see as one line here and one line here, right? And then here we do have a window. Again, I'm gonna offset this. And there were 6 inches inside, right? And here you have a ground or floor line, so I'm gonna offset 6 inches as we had in SketchUp. And then I'm going to use Freelite. So I'm going to draw these as I draw in SketchUp, and then here you get this section, and the next is window and door if you have in your section. The next is the height, right? As you remember, the height was, I'm gonna offset this line, and the height was 10 feet, and hit enter, and we have 1 foot ceilings. So I'm gonna just type 1 foot and hit enter. In section, we see the thickness, right? The wall and ceilings and the floor, right? So I'm gonna just clean it up because right now I have the sections, the height and everything. Then the next is, let me go back to Arctic mode. So here we have these two windows. As you remember, we had a cell wall that were like 3 feet from the here finished floor onto the below of the window. So as you remember, so wall was a small portion, a small wall portion below a window, and between the finished floor and the window set, right? So it was 3 feet, right? So I'm gonna just offset this line to here, 3 feet, and hit enter. And the window was 3 feet by 5 feet, right? So I'm gonna just offset this in 5 feet and hit enter. And then I got these two windows, right, in this section. So I'm gonna clean up these lines. So let me go back to here that you see these lines. So I'm gonna, here in this section, as you remember, we draw one line, and for this in Rhino again type L, and then find the mid of this point, and then find this mid, and then same for this. So if you want to add the thickness for the glass, or you will say, okay, so I'm gonna offset this in 0.1, or even here 0.1, and same with this window. So here it's a simple section that you got. So the next step is I'm gonna use a portrait or hatch, and where you had this section right on the wall, right? So I'm gonna just type hatches and hatch, and you have to select the curve boundary, right? So I don't have any boundary here, so if I click on that, I don't have a boundary on this, right? So for this, I'm going to make a boundary with rectangle, right? And then if you select hatch, right? And it says select curves, right? Or boundary, right? So you can select curve and hit OK. You got these hatches, which is solid. I'm going to show this section with black solid, and then hit OK, and that's it. But this I'm gonna show you again hatch, type hatch, and then say no boundary, right? So I'm gonna select this and hit enter, and then you see this uh we've got this, and so you can also, like it says, click inside regions, right, to keep, or press enter when you're done. So I'm gonna just, have hatches here, right? I don't have any boundaries, like, here I made a rectangle, right? So here, if you don't have a boundaries, you can do this, select this and hit OK, and you got this solid. Okay, so I'm done with hatches. So next is I'm going to add the height, same as SketchUp. This would be the same with the SketchUp. So I'm gonna just, bring this down. You remember in SketchUp we had the 0, 0 level was a ground, and then we got the level 1 finished floor. It depends, so the how much the thickness would be or the height would be, and then level 1 finished ceiling, level 2 finished floor, and same with the upper level, right? So here we have this one story. So I'm going to use these two and then bring this down. And so actually I made this as a block. So I'm going to show you block as well in this section as well. Okay, so I'm going to have this and move all this and then drag it here where I have the 0, 0. And then here, we've got 6 inches, right? So I'm gonna just drag or move this to this level and then select this and you got this text, right? Edit text. So you have to change the height or the thickness. So it's gonna be 0 and it's gonna be 6 inches and then hit OK. Right. And then the next would be, okay, so how much would be the height would be 10, right? That's correct. So a level 1 finished ceilings is gonna be 10 feet. And then level 2 finished floor is gonna be, I'm gonna drag this here or move this down. So it's gonna be 11 feet. And so here is your elevation section, so with the heights on it. So the next is I'm going to actually I'm going to just actually show you the ground floor, like the ground. We've got the ground as well, right? So as you see here, so let me just like this. So as you remember, we had a ground, right? So but in section, we cut through the ground as well. So in section, I'm gonna show the ground with the different hatches. As you remember, we had these lines with a different thickness, right? So you could just have this and like 5 feet, right? And then here 5 feet, right? And then I'm going to actually, you can move this a little bit here. And so if you want to actually, one thing I don't mention it. So if you want to select all those, like for example, I've got this line, right? If you want to deselect it, then you have to hold Shift and select, so hold Control and deselect that line, and then that I can here, I can move this back a little bit, right? So for the ground, so I'm going to just, make a really simple lines, or even you can just, have it like with rectangle, right? With draw with the rectangle, and then that's it, right? And then I'm going to use hatch. So type hatch and then click on this, and this time I'm gonna just give it like a like like this hatch, okay, but I'm going to actually select the scale, like increase the scale a little bit, right? 2, and then rotation. So I'm gonna have in 60 degrees, but actually minus 60 degrees. And as you see, I've got these hatches in here, right? So the next is I'm gonna just, make this. It's actually, I'm gonna just delete this, or even you can just leave it, right? I'm gonna make it similar with SketchUp. So you can delete this and then you can give it a thickness to these lines. Okay, as you see, we draw a really simple section with the height and with the hatches and showing a different line type, line weights. And so the next would be like adding more details, furnitures. If you would like to have, like, for example, here we've got 2 bedrooms, so you can add the furnitures. We're going to add all those next, not in this tutorial. So the next is I'm going to show you blocks because how you can make blocks and then how you can edit blocks as well. You know about the blocks, as I explained you all. If I make one block, so if I, for example, have this, or even, like, let me show you in floor plan, right? For example, I have these doors, right, in bedrooms. So if these doors are same with the same dimension, right? It was 2 feet 8 inches. So if I want to copy this door and then having them, somewhere else with this size or dimension. So, and then later I'm gonna just change a little bit, make it smaller or make it bigger. So all of them will be changed, right? So this is a really good thing about the block that so it's really different from the group making groups uh, or groups, yeah, or even joint, right? So I'm gonna show you, like, if you want to make a group, so you have to select all those. Like, I'm gonna just select these doors and then type block and then hit enter, right? And it says base block base point. So you can just, feel free to just select wherever you want to, or even you can just select one point and then you got this. And here you have to name your block. So I'm gonna say, okay, bed, uh, door. So I'm gonna just use this BE and then, all right, and then hit OK, or even you can say, like, bedroom 2 feet 8 inches and hit OK. So if you select this door, you see all of them, are selected, right? Okay, and then I'm going to select, actually, I'm going to just, delete this, and I'm going to have, because I made this block, right, as a block, I'm going to mirror this to this bedroom. And so right now I'm gonna just make some changes. So if you want to edit your block, so you have to double click on the block that you have and then start, like, making changes. Like, I'm gonna just, for example, I have this 1 inches, right? So I'm gonna delete this and offset this line to 2 inches and hit enter and select this. Okay, so for example, I'm done with changing, right? Making those changes. So, and then I'm gonna just hit OK, and that's it. And you see the changes in this door as well, which is really helpful, and it's great way that you can have it in your projects. The next is drawing elevation, but I want to just, show you something about elevation. And then you can go ahead and draw elevation based on the, what tools that we use in section in Rhino as well. So here, as you want to draw elevation, so sometimes you have in floor plans something like this symbol, so it shows the elevations that you have. Like, for example, E1 elevation 1, that you have this elevation 1, and then I'm gonna have here, for example, and then rotate this and have this as elevation 2, right? So elevation 2, and then hit OK. And then I'm going to have this mirror I want to show you we have 4 elevations that we're going to draw. And this one is elevation 3. And we've got this elevation, which is elevation 4, right? So let me just try this. And then mirror here. So we just elevation 4, right? So you all need to draw 4 elevation of this floor plan. And then also we have this sign, right? Symbol that shows where north is or where south is and east west, right? So for doing this, like for this assignment, I ask you guys, just call elevation 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But in the next assignments that we have, you all have to call your elevation based on the sign that you have in your floor plan or site plan, right? For example, it's north is here, right? So north elevation would be here, and south elevation is going to be here. This elevation 4 is going to be south elevation, and the east elevation is going to be E1, and west is going to be E3. So please draw elevations with for elevations E1, E2, E3, E4 as well.